I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first.
From her early days in college basketball to her current status as a marquee rookie, Caitlin Clark has consistently proven that she is more than just another player. She is a trailblazer. At a time when female athletes often struggle for recognition on their own merits, Clark's meteoric rise has challenged preconceived notions about women's sports. The story of her ascent is filled with records broken, statistics shattered, and a relentless commitment to excellence that transcends the mere act of scoring points. Her decision to forgo the NBA three-point contest, a high-profile event that many would consider a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, speaks volumes about her priorities. Rather than seeking the limelight on an NBA stage, Clark has chosen to remain anchored in the league that gave her the platform to shine, the WNBA. This act is not just a personal statement. It is a declaration of loyalty, a call for the empowerment of women's sports, and a strategic move to ensure that the narrative of women's basketball...
We should matter first to the ladies. I'll make an argument. Considering the lackluster effort the NBA players have been given during All-Star Weekend,
remains centered on its own merits. At the heart of the discussion is a moment that has become a touchstone for sports fans and analysts alike, the decision by Caitlin Clark to decline the invitation to participate in the NBA three-point contest. For many observers, the allure of the NBA's All-Star Weekend is undeniable, offering an unprecedented stage and exposure. Yet, Clark's choice to put the WNBA first challenges this conventional wisdom. Clark's rejection of the NBA invitation was not made. It was a decision that encapsulated her understanding of what is at stake: the recognition, growth, and self-determination of women's basketball. Rather than being seduced by the glitz and glamour of an NBA event, she deliberately chose to channel her energy and influence into bolstering the WNBA. This move reflects a broader movement among female athletes who are increasingly determined to define their own legacy without deferring to the male-dominated narratives that have traditionally overshadowed their accomplishments. This decisive action has been lauded by several prominent voices in sports media. Analysts who once questioned the necessity of female stars participating in traditionally male events now see Clark's stance as a rallying cry, a way to put the focus where it belongs. By prioritizing the league that nurtured her talent, she sets a powerful example for her peers and for aspiring athletes across the country.
I not only respect it, but I wholeheartedly support it. You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know.
The impact of this decision is far-reaching. In rejecting a one-off chance at cross-league exposure, Clark has sent a message that resonates deeply. Women's sports should be celebrated on their own terms. Her decision has spurred conversations not just about the quality of play, but about the importance of context, representation, and the economic empowerment of the leagues in which these athletes perform. For decades, the narrative around female athletes was often constructed in relation to their male counterparts, a form of validation that, at its core, undermined the intrinsic value of women's competitions. Now, with figures like Clark taking a stand, there is a growing movement to redefine success in a way that is authentic to the women's game. This evolution in perspective is reflected in the way fans, media personalities, and sports economists analyze every move on the court. One of the most compelling aspects of Clark's decision is the undeniable economic impact she has on the league. It is not an exaggeration to say that her influence extends well beyond the boundaries of the basketball court.
Off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted.
Recent reports have shown that since her arrival in the WNBA, both the league's broadcast value and merchandise sales have experienced significant surges. For instance, last season, a combination of Clark's on-court prowess and her growing off-court brand helped generate a staggering 45% of the overall broadcast value for the league. This figure speaks to a broader trend. When a superstar emerges, they do not merely perform, they attract audiences, drive sponsorships, and enhance the economic ecosystem of the sport. Clark's presence has not only elevated the profile of individual games, but has also provided a catalyst for record-breaking merchandising figures. Jerseys bearing her number have become some of the top-selling items, signaling a shift in consumer behavior and reinforcing the notion that female athletes can, and do, command a market that was once largely untapped.
Also, for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1. And most importantly, I think people look at this and think she said no. That's not the case.
Beyond the league-wide figures, the local economic impact is equally noteworthy. Take, for example, the influx of an estimated $36 million into Indianapolis during a season when Clark made her debut. It is a battle for identity, growth, and market presence. Clark's decision came at a time when the league was poised for expansion in audience and influence. With every game, every playoff run, and every community engagement event, the WNBA has been working to carve out a space for itself in a crowded sports ecosystem. By turning down the NBA's allure, Clark ensured that her energy and focus were directed entirely toward helping her team and the league excel during this crucial period. This focus is critical because the stakes are high. The league is in a transitional phase, evolving from a niche competition into a major sporting enterprise that commands the attention of millions. In such an environment, any distraction, even one as seemingly prestigious as an NBA contest, could dilute the impact of the emerging narrative. Instead, Clark's choice to prioritize the WNBA has allowed her to channel her talents into creating memorable moments that will be remembered as key milestones in the history of women's basketball. For a rookie with the kind of charisma and talent that Caitlin Clark possesses, the decision to invest fully in the WNBA carries an added layer of significance. It is not simply about making a personal statement, it is about defining an era.
She said she wants her first competition to be an Indy at WNBA All-Star, which to me is huge. People don't see the numbers below, like the economic impact.
Her actions set a precedent for future generations of athletes. Clark's strategic focus has already resulted in record-breaking attendance figures, sold-out arenas, and a social media presence that dwarfs many of her contemporaries. The decision to forego a singular appearance at an NBA event in favor of sustained engagement with the WNBA is a bold declaration that the value of the league lies in its continuity, its culture, and its community, not merely in isolated moments of crossover spectacle. As the conversation around women's basketball continues to evolve, Caitlin Clark's decisions have come to symbolize a broader challenge to the established order. For decades, female athletes were expected to prove themselves by aligning with the platforms of men's sports, a model that implicitly devalues the intrinsic worth of the women's game. Clark's recent actions, however, signify a clear break from that outdated paradigm. At its core, the rejection of the NBA three-point contest was about reclaiming the narrative.
All-star three-point decision has made some waves. It's got people talking. And I think it really, is a testament to her motion and her star power and the way she uses her power. I mean, I've done a previous video.
Instead of allowing her talents to be showcased as a novelty in a men's event, Clark insisted on having her brilliance appreciated in the context where it truly belongs. The move is a powerful reminder that women's sports should not be judged by the standards of another league. Beyond the immediate impact on the WNBA, Clark's decision has become emblematic of a larger movement toward gender equality in sports. In an era where the conversations around fair pay,